Getting into the video, got another banger here for you. Gonna be going over the Indianapolis Colts preseason preview. So
Let's go.
don't worry, Colt fans. We got you guys. We got an expert here to lead the way in a sense. Colts expert guy, big Colts guy. But before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you're notified anytime we upload a video. Let's go.
I lost gang members, I can't act cool. I got gang scriptures in my tattoos. I was running from the police in my trap shoes. Posted trying to flip 100, I come back fool. Come from nothing, but I blossomed to a tycoon. Betrayal scars, can't stop thinking about them stab wounds. We might not catch him today, but he gon' die soon.
Starting with last season's stats, Colts went 9-8. They were ninth in points scored. They were tied ninth in points allowed. And these stats are according to PFF. So if you like PFF, good for you. If you don't, well then good for you. Doesn't matter. Overall, last year they were the 12th ranked team. They had the 16th overall offense, the 9th overall defense, and they were tied second overall for special teams. Not too badly rated there.
Yeah, we killed it on special. If you watched HBO, you could kind of see behind the scenes of why that was.
Yeah, that was pretty cool insight.
Yeah.
Like, hey, hit this gap and we can block them. They don't block it. You guys can block the punt. Sick. One of the highlights, apart from the very last episode when they lost against the Jaguars and everyone was depressed and people just stared at Carson Wentz while he tried to talk about, like, we got it as a team. And like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, that was the best thing the Jaguars have ever done for us. Get Carson runs the hell out of Indianapolis.
So, speaking of the Jaguars, I guess the Colts just announced that, like, in July 28th, they are going to be sponsored up with Marvel. And they're doing, like, a sponsorship partnership with Marvel. And this Jags fan went, like, it's really fitting that Marvel and the Colts will meet up together because just like in Marvel, there's, like, 14,503 different ways that a Jaguars and Colts game can go in Jacksonville. And there's only one of them where a Colts would win.
Yeah, Doctor Strange definitely saw that one too. But yeah, dude, I don't know how we're doing this one, but I think Colts Super Bowl favorites, right?
We can get into it. We can stop waffling. We'll go into.
Let's get into why the Colts traded Carson Wentz. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Dylan, do you want to go ahead and explain that before getting into the free agency, what aftermath and stuff?
So I actually saw a pretty good breakdown of this on Reddit, but so I mentioned like Carson Wentz stats when you look at it, not too bad. It's like 27 touchdowns, like 7 interceptions, something like that. That's of the ones that were actually caught. He threw like 40, but of his wins, he accounted for like 180 air yards or passing yards, sorry, and then like a touchdown or two in those wins. So he never really helped us win too much, but he did cause us to lose a few games. And I think just the leadership is why they really moved on. Whether or not we got in the playoffs, I think they're moving on from Carson Wentz. I think they saw enough of him just throwing away games and stuff like that, that even if they made the playoffs, made a run, I think they were going to look for greener pasture. But yeah, I think that's why they did Carson. And they fleeced Washington to do it. So more props for Chris Ballard getting out of a bad situation in a positive way.
Yeah, definitely did. And then what did that lead to then for you guys' coaching changes? What's happened with coaching?
Yeah, so we lost Matt Eberflus. He's been on the rise since taking our defense from one of the worst defenses to a top defense in a matter of 3 or 4 years. He's moved on to Chicago. He's going to be the head coach there. He brought, I think, their linebacker and safeties coach from the Colts as well. So we have a lot of change up in the defensive department like we did last year when Nick Sirianni left to go to the Eagles. We lost a lot of our offensive coordinators and coaches there. And so kind of the same thing this year, but with defensive coordinators. We added Gus Bradley. He has experience head coaching, but he's a great defensive coordinator. great at getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's the biggest thing that we've missed as a team for a long time is getting to the quarterback. So I think it's a good addition. I don't think he's going to revamp the entire defense, but he's going to get us in position to get out.
Kind of going over the coaching changes, Dylan's mentioned it all, but now that we've kind of entered like the ramifications of last year, heading into this year, free agency, what all has changed for you guys? Who have you guys lost?
So biggest losses I would say that the Colts have had this year. Well, notable losses. I don't know if they're biggest losses, but Carson Wentz is a addition by subtraction. We traded Rocky Sin, who's a very good corner who has had 2 great years. And then we also lost a lot of depth pieces. Zach Pascal, a wide receiver, to the Eagles. We lost a special teams ace in George Odom to the Niners. And then, a few backups like Matthew Adams followed Eberflus to Chicago. And then, unless I'm forgetting anything major, we've lost some offensive linemen, other depth pieces. So,
yeah,
we lost. Yeah, we'll throw it up. And then we lost Kari Willis to the gospel. He's going to go preach the gospel. So good for him. But now we got to throw Nick Cross in there a little earlier.
No problem with that. Nick Cross is pretty good. Yeah. Shameless plug. We did have him as one of our sleepers. We really liked him coming out of the draft. And getting to the fun part, replacing all those guys. I'll just go over it really quickly. You guys signed Stefan Gilmore, the cornerback from the Panthers, 2-year deal, $20 million. That's got to feel good.
Yeah. Getting Gilly Lock. It fits Gus Bradley's man coverage defense. We also added Brandon Facian from the Raiders, who also was with Gus Bradley. Also added Yannick Ngakoue from the Raiders, so kind of getting Gus Bradley's guys into the system. Just helps with translating terms and everything like that. And then other moves that I really liked were I'm spacing on it. Getting Matt Ryan, obviously, that's a big one. Hopefully he starts for us this year and next year and breaks the curse of not having a reliable starter since Andrew Luck's retired. So hopefully that ends next
year. Mikey, how do you feel about Gilly Locks? Make you happy knowing that he's gone to another team since you guys can't pay anybody, any of your corners?
Yeah. Makes me so happy.
I feel like you probably miss J.C. Jackson more than Gilmore at this point, right?
I younger, miss both. We but that's our bread and butter. Getting corners and turning them into something, and then shipping them off for absolutely nothing. That's what we do best.
Yeah.
Well, including some of the secondary players that the Colts picked up, they also picked Rodney McLeod. Wow, I don't know why I said that. The safety from the Eagles, as well as Brandon King, the safety from the Patriots, another Patriots guy they just let go, and then Amarni Watts from the Chiefs.
Brandon King sucks, though.
Yeah.
They also picked up, the Patriots' dad and Nick Foles' dad, and Tom Brady's dad and Nick Foles from the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that one the most because he's probably going to start next year.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, better than Carson Wentz. So,
and then
I'm ready for a franchise quarterback again.
Bet. But kind of doing that. Kind of gone over the trades yet, have you? In like detail, but
yeah,
everyone pretty much knows what the trades are.
Yeah.
And then getting into your guys' draft picks, Mikey, who did the Colts draft?
Well, they didn't have a first-round pick, so we got to start here in the second round. Pick 53 went with Alec Pierce, wide receiver out of Cincinnati, getting another
Mikey,
boy.
Why didn't they have a first-round pick?
Oh, that was the Eagles' first-round pick
okay.
For Carson Wentz, the guy that doesn't play for him anymore.
Okay.
That's why they didn't pick in the first round.
40 chess. The reason, or that pick helped the Eagles pull AJ Brown out of the AFC South. So 40 chess right there.
True.
Yeah.
You got a point.
But it did give them Treylon Burks.
Yeah, he's not. So
I'm just kidding. But yeah, they went with Alec Pierce with their first pick in the draft at 53, the wide receiver out of Cincinnati, getting another boy to pair up there with Michael Pittman Jr., big tall boys, going up there and being able to catch some balls for the inaccurate passers of Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan.
Oh, well, Matt Ryan's not inaccurate, so at least come with that.
You're right. He's just a choker.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I forgot the whole Patriots thing. I didn't.
Oh, yeah. We also drafted Jelani Woods, I think, in the third round. We traded up for Nick Cross. We also drafted Bernhard Raimann. Those were our most notable draft picks. The others might become notable later on. But I can't believe we got Bernhard Raimann in the third round. And we had mocked him in the first round multiple times in the offseason. And a lot of people did, not just us.
I think that was mainly at the start of the offseason, though, and then more things kind of came out, and then he was a little too raw at the position, but...
Yeah, I think after, like, the
Senior Bowl.
The Senior Bowl is kind of when we started to back off a little bit.
Yeah, but we didn't ever have him going further than halfway through the second round, and I don't think most people did.
No.
But no, I mean, realistically, if you just break down our draft, they picked up the RAS score, relative athletic score, for each position and just drafted the highest one on that because Alec Pierce is really high. Jelani Woods is the most athletic tight end in history. Bernhard Raimann's really up there. So just a very athletic draft is all.
Yeah. Well, usually to end these videos, we like to predict what's going to happen for the next season. You guys were 9-8 last season. Dylan, you're the honorary Colts fan here. So what are your 2022 upcoming season's expectations?
Well, record-wise, my expectations, I would say we're squarely in that 10 to 12 range, just depending on how early we get going. That's the biggest thing with the Colts is last 5 or 6 years. We haven't won the opening game. We haven't won the opening home game either. And that usually starts us off at 0-2. So if we can get that jump on early, knock out the first 2 games with wins, I think we can be a 12-win game or 12-win season. But we have what?
Which I'll interject really quick for people that don't know. The first 2 games of the season are against the Houston Texans and then the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if they aren't winning those first 2 games,
we're in trouble.
Yeah, there's some problems there.
Yeah. But there's always a Jaguars loss on our season, so that is what it is. But I'll say 10 to 12. I mean, I would say I would put my bet on 11.
Okay. And then when we were talking about this and preparing the video, you had some win now expectations and points.
Yes.
What
so basically, one thing I've noticed with the Colts and how Frank Reich talks and some of the leaders in our locker room talks, they take morality wins out of losses, and that's just, there's no excuses anymore. You can't say, oh, we got hurt, but we still put up a good performance against the Chiefs, or we didn't beat the Steelers, but at least we only lost by 1 point or something like that. The Colts have multiple Pro Bowlers. They have multiple first-team All-Pro, second-team All-Pro players on their roster right now. You can't lose one of those and have an excuse. Even if Darius Leonard and Quentin Nelson go down, we still have a good enough team to make the playoffs. There's no excuses for any of our losses this year. If we lose, it's because we lost. We weren't as good as the other team. And that's the thing with Colts culture. I feel like that needs to change is you can't take a loss and make it a good thing. And I feel like the Patriots don't ever do that. And, other teams that have successful franchises like the Ravens, the Steelers, don't take those kind of morality, wins out of losses. So that's the only thing I would say is I hope I do not see a player or a coach, sugarcoat a loss. yeah.
Mikey, 9-8 last year. They getting better or worse? Just staying about the same.
I don't know. I'm surprised there wasn't a banner hung for being 9-8, but I think it'll go up. I think you guys might be able to squeeze one more game out of it, maybe two. I'd say 10-7 or 11-6. Colts are a good team. I don't want to play the Colts every week, that's for sure. I really don't want to play them this upcoming season, but we'll see if Matty Ice can get things done there in Indianapolis and get that team back on the right track. And hopefully
I
make
will
the playoffs
say
this year.
I will say we will not win in New England this year. I almost will bet on that.
I hope you're right, buddy.
I don't think we win in New
Funny you say that. I'm kind of along the same point. I think 9 to 11 wins is kind of where the Colts are at. If they hit the ground running, like Dylan was saying, I think 12 is probably a shot there.
Yeah,
There's a
feasible
chance
thing for sure.
Right, but it seemed like if we were looking at it, and the Colts last year, they had problems winning games at home. They were like 1-6 at home, and then like 5-1, 6-2 away, and then 1-5 out at home. Shut up, Michael.
Something like that. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like we need to fix that up, obviously. But like the thing that is irritating is we had games that were within our reach against really good teams, like the Ravens, the Titans, and I could probably go and list a lot more. But we gave the win away, and especially the one Monday Night Football with the Ravens. We were beating them by 20 plus points in the third quarter, and Lamar Jackson comes back. I can make excuses for that one, but that's the thing. Like the Colts have a good enough team to beat anyone in the league, but they had enough like getting ahead of themselves in games last year that they would lose them. I would say though, just like to wrap this all up, Matt Ryan being our quarterback last year versus Carson Wentz, we're easily in the playoffs. I think that's a fact. The biggest thing, and you'll hear it time and time this year, is that Carson Wentz did not hit the layups that Frank Reich drew up for him, and instead would push the play to the point where he's getting, hit by Aaron Donald 5 times in a game trying to win it, when he could have, dumped it off to Nyheim Hines or someone like that and, be more effective. So Matt Ryan's not going to push his luck, and he'll be a lot better for the Colts.
But that kind of wraps up, like Dylan was saying, the end of this 2022 season preview for the Indianapolis Colts. If you guys have made it to the end of this video, we do greatly appreciate it. If you guys are subscribed, we appreciate you guys. If you're not, I would, I'd ask to consider subscribing. Turn on that notification bell so you guys are notified when we make more videos. And Colts fans down below, let us know how you guys are feeling for this upcoming season. Other than that, see you guys for another video later. Deuces.
Peace out.